Republicans. Don't be stupid. All caps, 3 exclamations to really drive the point home, folks. We need a separate border and immigration bill. It should not be tied to foreign aid in any way. I'm getting to the bottom of the page, so it's a little hard for me to read down there. Shape or form looks like another exclamation, but I don't know. Yes. The Democrats broke immigration and the border. They should fix it. Make America great again, I say.
That's for the current president.
Yes. I'm lightheaded because I still have a little bit of the lung thing going on.
Cough. You just passed that.
Josh, you're going to be March 1st in Des Moines. Is that what it is?
Yes, in Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Yes, March 1st at the Funny Bone.
Des Moines.
Buy your tickets now.
Do it. Or do it now. Josh, now.
Yeah, do it now.
Ask somebody to do something. Just be like, God,
a lot of fun. Go see Josh live. There's something special about that.
Yeah,
that's
fine with it. It is
the time to do
that. Or all kinds of crazy stuff. You never know what's going to happen.
Sometimes you have a big couch.
There's pies. There's a couch.
There's a couch.
You can just Apple Vision Pro and you just sit at home and listen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't even know what Apple. Oh, is it the?
It's the new thing.
Oh,
they actually look pretty cool. No, they look stupid on people that are wearing them. The function, the features. Go check out some of the demo they did. It actually looks pretty cool.
That was a really lame thing to say, and it was lamer how you said it.
That thing's pretty neat, guys.
These glasses are
more kilted.
You gotta wear this stupid headset, makes you look like a moron.
But I'm not a boob guy. You don't have to wear the headset if you don't want to. Put it in a earpiece. See how it goes. Have some
earlier. No, not Gerald said he wasn't a Chi-Chi guy. I don't know if you can.
Chi-Chis.
Chi-Chis.
I like good.
Yeah, because Chi-Chis are usually plural.
Yeah.
I like good Mexican.
Cultural. He knows all about amigas, empanadas,
Chi-Chis is Mexican for boobies. Maybe Mexican.
I know how to speak
Spanish. Spanish, yes.
I'm telling you, chat's got my back. Right, guys? The girls cheat.
I do know that 8008 number 5 is AI for boobs. I put the calculator upside down.
Yeah. Well, they're having AI for boobs now. It's really big.
It's like pi. It's a universal thing.
Yeah. Everyone, it's $250 on a Texas Instruments graphic calculator. I spelled boobs. That's all I ever did.
I'll show you my Texas Instruments.
Working.
Right. So
I'll probably do a desktop stream if I get there in time.
See, dude, I know.
You're not overwhelmed.
Dorian, man.
Yeah, and Chi-Chi.
I'd never come up during Dirty Talk. What are you
on the main channel?
What? Does it mean something different? Oh, I thought you said.
It's Monday, man. Back to the grind.
She says something different.
Oh,
Chi-Chi. Never mind. Anyways, yeah, boobies.
Okay. Fine. It still sucks as food.
You've been ignoring the Chi-Chis for some time, don't you?
Don't ignore the Chi-Chis.
Why don't you like Chi-Chis? Chi-Chis play.
Oh man, that would be the worst.
He's like him's allergic. I'm sorry.
Mira. Chi-Chis.
Hey, this is a thing.
Ew.
Chicharritos. You should add in itos.
I know.
I did that in Spanish class in college. I just wrote everything in French and added in os.
You're getting it close.
I got 40%. I got better than the proficiency in math. That's literally all I did. Because it's close enough. All the Romance languages. All right, let's go from chat.
Here's a question from Rachel A. Do you guys think our government doesn't want Tucker to interview Putin because Americans will then finally hear the truth of the war versus the lie the government is trying to sell us?
Well, I will say this. You can't trust what Putin says either, to be clear. That being said, I do think, and I think that Russia was wrong in what they did and how they've done it, and I don't trust Putin when he freaking it's wrong. When people say, hey, this is the problem, it's just completely invaded country, it's never been a part of Russia. Is it though? Is it though?
And has it never been?
Has it never been part? Really? There's still a bunch of people who denies it, the Russians, every single word, or they use it as an excuse, but you have to understand where the excuse comes from.
Yeah, it does help.
It doesn't make it right. But again, if you just lie about the motive, then you just go, then there's no justification. Or you say, hold on a second, he thinks this person, is there something here where this could be worked? No, the answer is no, you can never work it out because you want to install the government in Ukraine, which is what we did in the Obama administration, and now act like they're allies on every single front.
Yeah. No, I think even if you don't like what you find out, it's good to understand the motivations of the other side. And if you don't understand the motivations, you're just going to paint him as a dictator who wants to start a world war. And maybe that's true. Maybe it's also not. Maybe he's just a really bad guy doing bad.
And I would like to be able to fact check Putin if he lies about it.
Right. To show the world how bad he really is. That was my thing. You can further kind of I guess strengthen your resolve in the position that he is a dictator that must be stopped. Why not let that be exposed?
For crying out loud, the left, it's a completely untenable position. And I say this because I would never want to live under any rule or any country that is any type of Islamic rule, Sharia law, any type of religious oligarchy that you see across the Middle East. Okay, portions of Africa. I get it. We fact check on Egypt. So, don't get me started on Tunisia.
No problem.
All right.
I didn't want you from Tunisia. No.
They want to praise all these countries and say these countries are wonderful, and actually, if you appreciate their culture, but you want us to believe that there's no redeeming value to Russian culture, that there's nothing they've done right. You know what? I think that anytime you have a totalitarian regime, it's a problem. Anytime you have religious oligarchs who are making billions of dollars nowhere in the private sector, of course I think it's a problem. But I also think protecting children from transgender ideology is something they got right. I also think their harsh execution for pedophiles is something they've gotten right. How can you say that that all cultures are equal except for Russia? When the fact is, if you compare it to, let's say, Egypt, Turkey, Iran, pretty much every African nation right now, certainly if you look across at China, pick your pick, I think they have more redeeming value. They have a lot of political problems, but socially, there are some things that they do right. Yeah.
Well, and look, they have a right to make bad decisions for themselves as well, right? And that's something that people forget. Russia was given freedom. They didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't want it. They prefer, well, in a lot of ways, somebody's going to fact check me and say they didn't prefer it, they came in and took power. No, that's not really what happened. People were uncomfortable being free. They didn't have the safety net that they were used to. Right. And the situation got out of control. So it's not like these people have just been oppressed. It's not like North Korea, where they haven't seen the outside world and they're not making somewhat of an informed decision on how they interact. Now, I know they're having elections in March in Russia, which is kind of silly. I don't know why they have elections. It should just be like coordination.
Why do we have elections?
But so I disagree with you.
You want to answer?
But if they want to be socialist, if they want to be a communist or something in the country, and it's a really bad idea for them, but they all get together and say that legitimately, have a right to make bad decisions for themselves, not for everybody else.
And where's Bernie on this, by the way? He honeymooned back when he was still the U.S.
No, they're not. That's what they're saying.
Because he loved this. He was sure he loved Leninist, Stalinist Russia, but now they have
nothing
to offer.
Beautiful country.
Anymore? Are we even free anymore?
Messed it up and they went to Ukraine.
Or were we ever really?
Really knocked it up. It was a really good country.
Maybe the most free. No, not.
Yeah, he has been very.
So he might be sick. I think we get story irrelevant.
No.
On Russia? No. You think we're going to get a statement from Bernie Sanders? Oh, for God's sake. That guy has us on a watch list. It's privilege.
All right, from Indian 97. Will Nikki Haley finally bow out after South Carolina?
Yes. I hope so. I have no idea.
Yes, please.
I don't think those Indians bow. Wrong Indians. But
Steven Seagal thinks that.
Yeah.
but I think after South Carolina thing, that's gonna
Probably will.
She's
You
gonna
got to
get
hope so. I mean, I wish that she would bow out before that. What did she just raise? 16 million?
16 million in January alone. So come on, who's just giving you money?
She's just writing that, by the way. She's just writing the money.
I know. I'm just saying that it doesn't make any sense other than just to be a thorn in Donald's side, and it's not working. By the way, a new poll came out. We'll probably talk about it tomorrow, I bet. But with Trump, he is trouncing Biden now.
From the beginning.
It's up to even +5.
Even more so a three-way race.
Yes.
From the beginning.
Oh, she's done.
You're right, Kelton.
The only way she can get anything is if
Be right back.
she quits now before South Carolina and then tries to run for office in South Carolina.
I think it's over. I think it's over. She has come out. She's tried to be the anti-Donald Trump. DeSantis is like, thank God for Nikki Haley. People won't even remember.
Public servant. Who is she trying to serve? I guess that's a job. Who's she trying to serve at this point?
Not the constituents, not Republican voters.
No,
The Mitt Romneys.
Yes.
donors.
Yeah.
The donor class.
Yeah.
The donor
The elites that don't want Donald Trump back.
pad her coffers, raise her profile so then she can get a talking head position or sell a book afterward. Public servant. I'm sorry. It's not that noble.
She wasn't even good on SNL.
No,
Terrible
sucked.
cameo.
Yeah, I didn't even. You know,
It was
what a
almost
great,
like a Chevy Chase cameo. It was like, oh, get this off my TV.
You what a great cameo Mike Huckabee on SNL.
It
Really?
was
Yeah, when he won one, I think he won Iowa. Remember, it was a shock that time.
Hmm.
And then it was Seth Meyers interviewing him saying, but why do you, people who say you have no actual like mathematical path to the Republican nomination. He said, "Well, Seth," he said, "what you're failing to take into account are those super delegates." I said, "Yeah, those are only for the Democrat Party, Mr. Huckabee." He's like, "Oh." I was really counting on those super delegates.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was pretty
That's pretty funny.
because that's self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Maybe someone can bring it up. Mike Huckabee on Weekend Update, the super delegates. It was a funny bit. He had a sense of humor about himself.
Well, and Donald Trump did it's kind of cringy funny, but it's the chicken thing.
He just-
Remember that, like Donald Trump when he was on Saturday Night
He did
Live?
a couple
This was
things before,
It was
yeah.
like in the 90s.
Yeah, no, he did a long
Well, he
time.
did a couple things in 2016 also.
He did in 2015 as well.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon apologized for tussling his hair. Remember, he's like, "I didn't mean to normalize a dictator."
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Jimmy Fallon is
That guy is the luckiest guy in
what's the
showbiz.
word? Yeah, I was thinking of the word. Somebody, it's like a fucking yes man. Like what's the better word?
Yes.
Patsy.
A patsy. Yeah, he's
Quizzling.
a patsy.
He's a
dude.
patsy for the
He's a
hire.
quizzling for the network guy.
That was a really
yeah.
bad look for Nikki Haley, though. I'm sorry I have to keep talking about it, but it was just like
She didn't look bad.
it was.
Yeah, she did.
I think she looked terrible.
She looked good.
I think she looked terrible. It was all.
Oh, I thought you meant it wasn't a bad look like her dress.
Oh no! I'm saying like going on there and then letting the main reason was for her campaign, whatever, but also to retract that whole slavery thing.
I know. Yeah.
It was like, dude, you shouldn't have addressed it. Like you totally look like a cuck right now.
Just move on. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, not you.
Oh.
Her. Sorry, not you.
I know. I did feel like it was time though. So I was like, all right.
Oh, sorry,
Hey, Josh, move
sorry,
on, Josh.
See, this is what's called him looking for a lifeline. I didn't give it to him,
Yeah.
and then he took it anyway, and then I was confused.
Yeah.
Nikki Haley looks like what she was wearing there. She looked like she was wrapped in the curtain that you would have used to wipe yourself off after,
It looks
donating.
like the wallpaper in my bathroom. Pakistani house.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, they love the wallpaper.
They do. It's like falling off in the shower. I'm like, why'd you put it in here?
I saw a house one time. I looked at it.
It really is in the shower. It's really weird.
I looked at a house one time, and I remember thinking, "Oh, Josh would love this." It had baseball wallpaper
Really?
with no explanation.
Ah,
You just walk into a room,
In the living room or the
Yeah.
kitchen or like.
and there was a Marilyn Monroe room.
Ooh, oh, I would love this.
No
place.
explanation.
How did you know?
It was just baseball wallpaper. I'm like, okay, so it's a room that's literally plastered with balls and fine.
You know how much I love balls.
My only question was like, was this a nursery for boys or something? They said no.
oh,
Okay. The
No,
fact that
just-
this is not going any further down this line, like you're not going to
Yeah.
avail any more information, makes me think that you're probably crazy.
they killed somebody. There's blood on the wall, so they had to put that up.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense at
That was
least.
a wink and a nod. All right, let's grab another chat.
All right, from Maya Dick Burns. Why do you think we are in the third year of Sleepy Joe's term, and now news media finally wants all the bad is done? The border. Josh, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, Josh.
I think they're at the point where they've tried this gaslighting and it doesn't work, where they're going, okay, we have to acknowledge, now we're at the point where we have to pivot, acknowledge that things are bad in a lot of ways,
Do you want
and
somebody else
blame
for
it
traffic?
on the Republicans. That's what you're seeing them do.
DJ?
For the longest, they wanted to say things are going really well, and now they realize no one's buying that.
Economy.
They're trying to say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
You're
talking
going to
to
see them
you.
pivot on that too, I bet, at some point.
I think they're trying to lay I don't know. I can see them trying to lay all of this at Joe Biden's feet and say, despite his best efforts, Republicans just wouldn't blah, blah, blah. Therefore, Joe Biden needs to go away and somebody else needs to come in. It's just they're making the case for Republicans right now. Like the mainstream media is bending over backwards to try to make Republicans look bad, but they're failing miserably.
Well, let me leave you with this. This is the problem with when people say politics. I say, what's going on in the political world? I'm not a political person. You go, is Nikki Haley about? I consider myself not. I'm more of a cultural person. That's what interests me. Because politics, and this is why I have such a problem with public service. Look, it's really simple. If you want to know why, 90% of the time you can figure it out. Each political party, and I'm not saying they're all the same, man, but you have to understand right now, politics. Your advisors sit you down, okay? And whatever it is, if it's actual legislation, if it's spin, if it's a media appearance, the goal is the same. It is to maximize credit for wins and minimize blame for losses. Period. That's their goal.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. In other words, no matter what the outcome, they are going to try and maximize credits for the wins and minimize blame for the losses. Now, here's the problem. That, which is what you need to do as a politician in order to play the game, be elected, get appointed to whatever committee at that point, is not the same as what would be required of you to help your constituents. In other words, accountability is what's needed. All right. Your constituents say, pass this, and let me inform you as to punch card. Are you
What's going on?
service?
What's up,
These are
Midwest?
the actual wins, these are the losses. This is where we are. Why? Again, if you don't address the root cause of the problem, whether it's slavery, and by the way, abolition, whether it's the economy, whether it's COVID, whether it's the border, if you don't address the root cause of the problem, okay, this is what happened legislatively. These are the wins, these are the losses. This is how I played a part. I'm here to serve you. What do you want to do going forward? That's what you do with your family. That's what you do with your business. You have to at some point, if you are serving or leading.
Just got a load? Nice.
Accurate assessment.
Get your ass over there.
What action you've taken.
Congrats, buddy.
And what the results are.
Get out of there before they start taking names of who's there.
To do. But instead, they're going, hold on a second. I want to sell Nikki Haley. I want to sell
streamed
books.
from there,
I want
so.
to get political donations. Are you going to go to political donors, for example, or the donor class and say, all right, this is what I did right. This is what
Garbage
I
trucks
did
from
wrong.
Michigan.
These
That's
are the
cool.
unforeseen consequences. Overall, I think this is a pretty good report.
Huh.
Or are you going to go to the donors, or in this case, of the former vice president, go to the public and say, hey, look at everything that happened that's good. Tweet those numbers, by the way. Don't include the labor force participation rate. Don't include the CT. So we can claim low unemployment rate. Don't include how many part-time jobs there are. Don't include the overall stagnation, actually decrease of wages. Look, the economy is doing really well. But Republicans see, so what's going on there, that's them. That's them. Hey, look at the border. Look what I wanted to do, but I couldn't.
I see them if something pops off, they're geofencing everybody's phone, though.
When they're saying, hold on a second, $60 billion for Ukraine and $20 billion for the border, $118 billion bill. What you need to do to be a good politician, which is
only concerned citizens, though, not illegals. They're not worried about those guys. So
minimize blame for losses. And the problem with that, if you are actually trying to act as a
I know you did.
servant, and it comes back to something.
I'm just being
honest, and you cannot serve your constituents unless you are.
No, believe me, if I'd have been down there, I'd have been with you. That'd have been great.
And give them an accurate report
Good
assessment
time.
as to your performance. These two goals, being a good politician versus being a good public servant,
Was at this point,
are diametrically opposed. And that's the disconnect you're feeling, and that's what we have to change in this country.
yeah, it seemed like
And it
that.
all
That's what
starts
I'm
with
talking
you.
about.
And you know what?
That's
Yeah,
also.
Go out and bitch. That does help. Use your megaphone, use your platform, bitch when you can, then move on with your life. That's how you start. I never want to be a good politician. And by the way, Donald Trump didn't want to be a good politician. That's why he was hated so much. A good politician is a bad public servant. Don't forget, don't be fooled. See you.
Yeah, let me get something up. Just trying to. I'm gonna read all of this thing. Russell! Russell Bryan. Get some Russell going. Get ourselves demonetized. Perfect timing.
Brought to you by Pfizer. In this video, you're going to see the feature. Hey,
to Awaken Wonders. Thanks for joining me today for Stay Free with Russell Brand. We've got a fantastic show today. Even as we speak, Tucker is trying to trump his last interview, which I think is very good, with a plucky little outsider called old Russ. He's going to talk to Putin. Will that interview be as well covered? Will it be as interesting? Will it be as pivotal for the future of the world? So we're going to be talking a bit about Tucker going to Russia to interview Putin. It's a pretty bit of footage of Tucker. Even before he's anywhere near Putin, he's in a hotel. You can hear he's using Russian manners. Any of you that know Russian people will know what I mean by Russian manners. You do not go chuckling and being too, what I call flamboyant around Russian people. Haven't they got like a phrase? Like something like he who smiles gets a smack in the mouth. I'd like to talk to Lex Friedman about that one day. I've spent some time around Russian country. They don't play. I'd say they're the sort of country you should think very
I'm not going the short way. I'm going the long way because
solution available. Take the diplomatic solution. Again, I can't express my sympathy for the Ukrainian people who are suffering in this war, and the Russian people who are suffering in this war enough. And of course, that's just a purported interview with Putin at the moment, although I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. In Here's the News, we're going to be exploring the new Child Safety Act, which, well, the fact it's called the Child Safety Act suggests it's not anything to do with bloody child safety. It's going to be about government control over social media. You'll love it. You'll enjoy seeing Zuckerberg participate in a piece of propaganda. You'll enjoy seeing the rather dignified head of TikTok spoken to as if he's a rent boy. It's pretty extraordinary and amusing. I think you'll like it. I'm just hearing, of course, some people are saying that Tucker could be in Russia to talk to Snowden. That's really, really creepy. You want to see the Putin interview, don't you? That's the thing you really want to see. Now, if you want to see our conversation with Tucker, that is up for our Awakened Wonders right now. In fact, we've got, where's it? We're going to play that.
Hey, Dirty. You know what's funny about that Midwest is, I mean, I'm sure it has a lot to do with the approach, but Bao was speaking to a lot of the same people. I think their minds have changed a little bit about cops. It's nice to see.
These applicants look bloody brilliant, but they also are going to present an opportunity to literally control
Since cop watchers are in the alternative media, and more of those type fun or follies. Oh God. The week will rumble where we eschew the speech of hatred for I know it was.
the Lord and want to bring about his kingdom
But that's
here on earth that we may
that's what you get with Bao Street. But what I'm talking about is even when Bao was being serious and trying to talk to him, they were leery. I mean, who wouldn't be leery? But you know, I don't know if you know what I mean. I think there has been a change. Conservatives have always been back the blue, blah blah blah, no matter what. I think that is changing a little bit. Is what I'm trying to say. A little bit.
I mean, the founders of my country certainly believe that. They set all these very complicated systems in place to deny people their desire to be ruled over.
More and more people just want just fucking transparency and accountability. That's it.
Covered in dog hair.
Have a look at that. That's exclusively available.
Don't tell me what to do. Slow down. Traffic ahead, 39 miles an hour.
Different aspect of his persona because he is in Russia. Let's have a look at Alexei Media reporting on that. Tucker Carlson apparently pictured in Russia amid rumors of interview with Putin. Former Fox News host, check this, bit of propaganda even there, who is sympathetic to the Russian president, appeared in Kremlin media at a performance of Spartacus in Moscow. A few things to unpack there. I don't know that you would say that Tucker Carlson is sympathetic to the Russian president. It's just like, you know, I showed you last week there was a poll of 40,000 people in our country where we were asked.
Well, I mean, you guys don't experience as many of the quote unquote Canadian truckers up where you're at. These fucking idiots. Most of them aren't even Canadian citizens. And you know what I'm talking about, Midwest. It's like they don't even know traffic laws or even, you know, driver courtesy. Yeah, one nuts. There you go.
Over there in front of that castle, that's the Kremlin. He seems pretty crushed. Yeah, he's the president of Russia. Like that guy. Has he got a first name at all? Listen, I'm too busy. Who's this last guy, Boris Yeltsin? All right, I'm not trying to educate you. Nevertheless, what I'm saying is that what Tucker Carlson's not done is really bent over to globalist, anti-war, jingoist rhetoric. That, do you remember, check this out, just as an example. After the Second World War, and during the Second World War,
Dirty.
Japanese American citizens were put into internment camps.
Oh no, hey, it just seems like that they're a bit more ignorant as far as courtesy and law. I honestly, those are the truckers that I run into the most that think that they own the road. Hey, have you watched? Probably not, because you don't do the Prime and stuff. But Mayor of Kingstown.
Tchaikovsky, Lex Friedman, Constantine over in our country, they're baddies, they're all like, not at war with Russia, probably are we? We may be advocating for, supporting, financing Ukraine's war with them, and not questioning the principles of Ukrainian democracy. A lot
This guy in the truck was being a dick, so I got out of his way. I was doing it to that car too. You're a dick.
Former Chief of Staff, Bill Crystal, who played a leading role in advocating the 2003 invasion of
It's
figure out what's going on.
live stream. Anyway, if I'm back, I don't know if I'm back or not, because when I'm using the YouTube one, I can't even see the signal.
I think what they're realizing now, tell me if you agree with this. I think what they're realizing is Tucker Carlson.
Anyway, it's about this town that has like 4 prisons all crammed together. Basically, the whole town is a prison called Kingston. It's supposed to be, a fictional town in Michigan called Kingston, Michigan. It's pretty cool, actually. I've watched the first 3 episodes. I'm back. Yeah, I figured it was bad. I saw it. It gave me a reconnecting thing. Maybe refresh. I'm gonna just start using even though Prism does fail from time to time. At least I can see the signal. It holds it. It'll hold the stream together.
In the post-Cold War world, how many of you wouldn't welcome a genuine reckoning when it comes to the role of the IMF, the World Bank,
it's called the Mayor of Kingston.
WHO, the WEF, NATO? What are they doing for you lately? They're helping you in your grocery crisis. They're helping you in your energy crisis.
Got a couple actors in there I really like too. So
they're helping you in your marriage. They're helping you.
It's made by the same guy who made Yellowstone and all that. Yellowstone, Tulsa Kings, 1923. Tyler Sheridan. He produces or directs it.
Nation that has designs to recreate the Soviet Union. Maybe they are a nation of Mongol people that will stop at nothing until they.
Basically, it talks about the degradation of basically blue cities.
What kind of moronic language is that? What do the legacy media think they're playing at? What do they think they're dealing with?
They're all pretty much overpopulated cities.
From rinky-dink towns that don't know nothing, that can't assess information for themselves? Is that what they think we are? We know that the answer
is
yes.
That's awesome.
That's exactly what they think you are. They think you are, excuse me. You can think whatever you want, your own private consciousness for now, until the Apple goggles are on, and then you'll think whatever.
Look at this guy. He's fucking straddling lanes.
End up controlling the spaces of your attention. In our conversation with
behind me, and we'll get out of his way again. He got caught up in traffic back there. Oh, he's slowing down now.
I liked it. I liked it a lot because what I was he said that what they believe in essentially the establishment, let's call it for simplicity's sake, their name was a WHO.
That was a nice boost for you for that channel. Hell, you're up to what? About 1,400 people. 1,400 people now.
That's why they advocate the censorship.
1,300, high 1,300s. If you gain 200 subs,
they're going to make bad decisions. They mean your humble narrator in the rumble chat. They mean FX Extreme.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
All of you are stupid. They think.
It's funny. You see all those these type of things come up. You see those streams popping up again. I've been subbed to them forever since the Canadian trucker thing. Now he's talking about the Callahan channel. It was just over 1,100 before the weekend. He's talking about the driving channel. Yeah.
Я люблю этот город, красивый. Что вы делаете в России? Хотел на нее посмотреть. Я так много читал о ней.
Yeah, there's always some pullback and a big jump, but still, that's nice.
Well, we did a poll earlier.
You'll always get some pullback.
Look at those poll results right now. We asked you, does he have it right? This is good. The way we post this question here. 45,000 of you voted. Who's the real traitor? Joe Biden.
It's Ray Ray.
To fund the Ukraine war. Tucker Carlson maybe interviewed Putin in Russia. Do you believe in democracy? Do you believe in referenda? If so, I
don't know who that is.
88%. Some people went with me because
Oh yeah, I feel bad for anybody. I don't care if I hate them personally. I mean, unless they're chomo.
Я хотел поговорить с людьми и посмотреть на то, как все устроено.
Okay, I don't really watch that much.
Может быть, взять интервью у Путина? Ваш визит в Москву сорвал медиа.
Okay.
Я не знаю.
Gotcha.
Сумасшедшие.
That in America or the UK. Oh my God, you peed in my yard!
Nice.
Tucker Carlson. And I believe I was voting in that. Of course, Tucker Carlson should interview Putin. Of course, we should all hear what Putin's saying. If Putin publicly says these are the conditions under which we would be willing to accept a diplomatic agreement, then we triangulate that with our assessment of current Ukrainian democracy and the well-being of Ukrainian people and the number of Ukrainian lives lost and Russian lives lost and American taxpayer dollars spent and what we know now about the expenditure in the Afghanistan conflict, $2 trillion. What the hell did that achieve? Our other adventures in the Middle East, the escalating conflicts elsewhere in the Middle East, the Houthis, shouldn't we be saving some money to kill Houthis wherever I see a Houthi? I say Houthi are in trouble, Houthi. Can't we, if you assume that we are unable to assess information, then you are at odds with everything we believe in. In fact, that's the video we made for our Awakened Wonder community is on that subject precisely. We take some of the work of Paris McKenna and talk about individual sovereignty. I'm being asked in the chat by 136H90M, Russell, will you interview President Xi? Yes, I will. I'm on my way to China. I've already been accused of being a Chinese asset. I'm getting over there.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a chip there that looks like it is. It was actually repaired, but it doesn't look like the repair is going to hold. I just got to wait for the crack to go. It's fucking expensive, man. I still got to pay like $250 deductible because of the camera system and everything on the car.
I'm panicking. I can't think of anything to say. Let's see how the legacy media reacted. If you watch on YouTube, you've got to join us. You think we're interested in hate speech? You think that's what inspires us? You think me as a father of 3 children, I get up every day and say, how can I spread hate? I want to spread love so that we have a chance of saving the lives of future generations that this globalist establishment cartel is hell-bent on destroying. You've seen their games. Okay, let's have a look at how the mainstream media reacted to Tucker.
Oh, did you hear it hit? Yeah. It's always a scary sound when you're driving, man. You start scanning, you're like, where's this? They're so hard to find at night, too. I mean, that's mainly when he drives.
Hello, Majesty. Hello, yes, no, your Majesty, please, thank you. Let's have a look what Love Jones say about Tucker going to Russia. Leaked Kremlin memo to Russian media. It is essential to feature Tucker.
Fuck you talking about, Joe?
As well. Isn't part of like the Tucker's deal with Fox? Like we're getting booted out of Fox. Like remember people on his phone, weren't they saying, "Oh, he's in touch with the Russians." Super Day 101. Keep going, Russell. I'll keep going. You keep going. We'll all keep going together. Pro Stay Free only, says Chaotic 02244. We're about to hit 20,000 in the Rumble stream.
What's wrong, Chopper?
On YouTube. We need you to join us. Before
I love you, buddy.
A brilliant reaction from RFK on X. The legacy media is in shambles because we've caught
all right, brother.
lies and propaganda. Tucker Carlson has every right to interview Putin. We need more transparency instead of less. It used to be understood.
Well, this drive here only has about 30 minutes left.
Look at how the
22 miles.
The legacy media want to shut down dissent. The legacy media are an arm of the establishment now. They will actively find people, I know this from personal experience, that are opposing government narrative, and they will do anything they can. They will amplify untruths, they will lie, they will do whatever it takes to destroy it. Let's have a look at what Glenn Green was saying, that a journalist or any American becomes a traitor by visiting a country we're not at war with, and interviewing its leader is in equal parts demented, stupid, and authoritarian. But this McCarthyite jingoism is also fully normalised in liberal discourse. That's liberalism. Those are the countries that will say, you know, well, Russia, you know, like when Sting released that song, do the Russians love their children too? Now the answer would be, no, they don't love their children at all. Poor old, once you start arguing with Sting, you've got a problem. He's one of our great pop stars. Okay, listen, if you're watching us on YouTube, we've got some fantastic stuff. We're talking about the Apple goggles. I'm not even going to call them their proper name out of, I don't know, childishness, call it what you will. That's the future now. Will the world be augmented? Well done, in Apple goggles. We're talking a little bit about Rogan's New Deal and what that means for legacy media. We're talking about Nikki Haley on SNL. Is she an establishment stooge or what? If you're watching this anywhere other than Rumble, click the link, get over here, join in with the freedom. We're spirited, we believe in change, we ain't terror, we ain't a part of the apocalyptic.
Oh, nice.
Freedom and love, and you can be with us. Click the link in the description, get over it now, you'll kick that.
You want them posted?
Listen to this. This is the Apple Vision Pro headset. Went on sale in the US this weekend. It's $3,500.
Dude, that actually sounds really good. Some squirrel teriyaki.
It's you should go to Russia, Russell. I'd like to. A bit scared.
Little squirrel on a stick.
If I can't make someone laugh, I'm getting itchy. And I think get the laugh out Putin, that would be a good laugh. If you're hey, Putin, he's got the media says he's got lung cancer. Yeah, I will be well into that. Russian fan, which means my personality. Oh, Russian brand. Is that a pun? Russian brand, that's what the headline would be. Our producer, Gareth Roy, said that the headline would be Russian brand. Russian says long time. If you think RFK is different, that's what I'm saying. I love Bobby Kennedy. I've got to tell you, I'm afraid that he's different. I'm afraid because I know Bobby now, and I love him. Russell, can you list all your smoothie ingredients? Two, all right. Kale, spinach, lemon, ginger, apple. Try and go ahead with the spinach account. You guys mean? Welcome. If you're over here for the first time from YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. It's good to be in a space that's not, I would say, regulated by the WHO. Let's have a look at this. Would you pay that, yes or no? Why or Ed? Would you pay $3,500 for a Vision Pro headset? Let's have a look at
Alright, this is officially a dream come true, right? We got the NBA dashboard over here. I'm watching the NBA game. Let's go Heat, right? I can just grab the corner, make it smaller, but then I can also make it huge. Like, look how big I can make this.
I mean, it's good. It's good. Something. You get some something to that. I mean, but here's the issue. I would say that they will normalise this technology, and could it become in the project of transhumanism a problem if we all start to accept the idea of augmented reality?
Yeah, their teeth don't stop growing, so they chew on wiring, they chew on cable a lot. I have installed cable at someone's house before, ran an aerial line, and then came back 2 days later and it was chewed down to the center conductor.
There's tellies all over my house. There's a telly over there with X on it. There's a telly over there. This is the wrong telly.
I don't know if they do anymore, but they used to make
it's bloody ridiculous.
the coax whenever you had a lot of that problems with
I
it.
personally don't believe that technology is going to deliver the solution, not technology.
With capsaicin flooded inside.
State capitalism.
I don't know if it helped or not, though.
Same as with science, you know? Like, science is obviously miraculous and incredible. It can deliver and has delivered so many solutions, but when it's a subset of state globalist capitalism, its ingenuity and endeavours are marshalled towards control. And God, man, Apple have got enough power, don't you think? At the moment, they've got enough power as it is. They can already. Like, when on your newsfeed, do you get that? It's like Apple curated news within Arsenal. It goes, Ukraine have got a new 100-mile bomb made by Boeing. That's a headline.
And that'll disable new cars. You know, bypassing a lot of that shit.
Enjoy the ingenuity of these products. I was only £5 a week. I would take it. I was taking it for free. Stop asking about corn pop. You've asked about Corn Pop. Corn Pop was a bad dude. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know about Corn Pop. I will tell you that. Look at the rest of this. I don't want to show this if you lot think it's propaganda. So I'm not endorsing it at all. I think probably it's a step in the wrong direction, even though it's
and it feels real. Like it feels like it's in my space. Like look, half my dog is not even shut up. So Archie, I'm walking through here. I'm going over here to grab this, right? Like it just feels real. I got Twitter over there in the corner.
I'm not showing it anymore. It's too seductive. It's too powerful. Those of you who took it out public heavily there, like I guess, look, you would probably, if you have concerns about ongoing events in the Middle East, then watch our conversation with Max Blumenthal because he's going to give you information to blow your mind. We do have to find ways of creating alliances if you want to make a difference in this system. Out for us, man. Let's have a look at the legacy media selling Apple products.
That is our next guest, having some fun testing Apple's new Vision Pro headset. Apple's first mixed reality headset blends digital content into the literal space around us. And today, you can get it yourself for $3,500.
Oh, thank you so much for allowing me to get that myself for just a small thing. Isn't it comfortable? It smells like swim bars.
That is our next guest, having some fun.
Sorry, let's have a look at some this is people using. Mine, which is like, okay, this is good. And finally, now I express myself the way Mother Nature intended, in public, on a train, wearing my lavender goggles. Yeah, that's okay, hey, listen, you lot, we've got some fantastic content coming up for you. We're going to be looking at that social media inquiry when they got all of their CEOs of various social media companies lined up, and they pretend
that makes sense.
They go stay there.
They don't want to use plastic, petroleum.
But this is about child safety, when in fact we know it is about censorship, it is about control. We're going to that in a second. Now it's time for a word from our partners. Behold the elixir. I'm calling this Love Mace. It's mace in the face, but it's Love Mace because this is from our sponsors, Charlize. Charlize is like a cosmetics brand that doesn't include any toxins at all in their brand. If you're looking for a gift for someone, this is a fantastic gift. This ain't the only product. This is the toner. A toner that lifts your serotonin levels and is based on apple stem cells. You've noticed how the humble apple remains pure and glorious on the counter, while the saucy banana browns itself off, where the filthy peach wrinkles like a Pelosi neck. No, I don't mean to criticise people. It's wrong, and I don't agree with it. This guy, by Charlize, the toner, it lifts your mood, it tightens your face, it makes you feel fantastic. Me and my wife are using these products. Boner juice, central screw. I've not sprayed it. But it's 100% top free. The whole Charlize skincare line is. She, by the way, this woman, she's powerful. She's already stood up against the Biden administration. She's been in trouble for spreading disinformation. She's one of us. I will look at Daniel in the Bible. I will read the book of Daniel and read a lot about IT. Good suggestion. Thanks for that, guys. So listen, you lot, if you want some beauty products for yourself or a loved one, because I'm a man, I can use these beauty products. Use.
Yeah, it's like an underground. You know how underground cable is flooded with a gel? They had aerial cable for areas where the squirrels chewed the cables a lot, and it was flooded with capsaicin in it. It sucked working with it though, because you had to wear fucking rubber gloves while you were cutting the fittings, or your nose would start running.
They're a damn good company, damn fine American woman. Support them if it's within your interest, and make sure you're supporting us by doing it.
Hi, Unindoctrinated.
Now, what do you think about Rogan extending his deal? $250 million. Although often these things aren't entirely true. There's going to be more of it up on YouTube. What does this mean for journalism? What do you guys think about that? Because what about
I will be doing a desktop stream too.
Just recently about liberals, like he's out. Didn't he say, I'm never voting for Democrats again? See if you can find that. We'll talk about that in a minute after our presentation, because I want to show you this social media thing. Recently, the heads of all the various social media platforms, the dude from TikTok, Zuckerberg, of course, the woman that runs X for Elon, they were all lined up while various senators sort of like really tried to go for them. And what I feel like is, like anyone, you would think that child safety is paramount. The protection
Which
of
one?
children,
I just seen.
That's our job. That's our function as a species, to protect the
Rowdy
children,
Monday.
to protect the vulnerable, to build a
I feel a lot better than I did last
Just
Monday.
because
I felt sick as shit going in Monday morning.
Or certain medications that were pretty highly recommended in recent years. That
I mean, ain't no sun. It's all overcast, but
child deaths.
it's not too super cold. It got chilly over the weekend, but it's up to 37 right now.
In child deaths in the UK. That's a fact. I don't know. It's so, are the government and state interested in child safety, or are they interested in control? Yeah. So, one, if you think child safety; two, if you think control. While you settle down and enjoy this episode of Here's the News, no, Here's the SE News. We'll be back with Jake Sullivan and some of his propaganda. We'll be talking a lot about Nikki Haley and STM, which is great stuff. One or two, let us know. See you in a few seconds, guys. Senators are grilling the CEOs of social media companies in order to implement, they say, new child
I gotta
safety
stop and grab
laws to
some
protect children.
juice.
All
I
of
just
us
realized.
want to protect children, but is that the aim of the government, or is
Get some
this
juice.
about control of social media? Cast your mind back now.
Juice.
These ongoing inquiries into online safety, of course, are about an important subject. No one would question the integrity of the notion that children should be protected from online bullying, from pornography, from potential forms of exploitation, from being able to access information on how you might harm yourself in a variety of ways, even with the most ultimate and irreversible of acts. Now, speaking to someone who is, as an adolescent, experienced, well, yes, some bullying, but also I had a lot of mental health issues, addiction issues, and did engage in self-harm. I recognise that these are important issues, and yet more significantly, of course, I'm a parent right now. I have 3 children whose safety is obviously the most important thing in my life. So no one's questioning the importance of child safety. What we are questioning is what these hearings are about, because the very same social media companies are
What's that link?
harangued and barracked by senators, and it's extraordinary to watch because it's so theatrical. You can tell it's propaganda even as you're watching it. There are literally staged moments that couldn't have happened without pre-discussion and without conversation and organisation. It's brilliant. You're really going to enjoy this. What we're actually questioning is, what are these hearings really about? It's a bit like the pandemic. We all agree that human life is sacred, that we should all protect one another, love one another, that we're all invested in one another, and your safety and my safety and our collective safety are important. And when we forget that, we go crazy. That's something we need to be reminded of. Like the pandemic period was exploited to introduce measures that were potentially advantageous, either in terms of profit or the ability to regulate and legislate, perhaps this conversation around child safety is similarly open to exploitation, in so much as it would grant governments the ability to censor and regulate social media companies that would inevitably go beyond getting rid of things.
So it wasn't an episode of You're Welcome?
Let's have a look. For a start, there's this tweet by Glenn Greenwald. Tom Cotton, one of the senators conducting the inquiry, is a complete imbecile, as this clip vividly demonstrates. And both parties' fear-mongering over TikTok is grounded in dumb innuendo. There's far more evidence they're censoring for the US government than China. This is all about more government control over social media. Now, Glenn Greenwald is obviously an expert in this subject and has worked long, hard, and successfully on the degree to which governments control, censor, surveil their populations, working in ingenious ways to ensure that
they get the espresso blend back. I don't know if they're going to. Fucking 7-Eleven ruins everything.
Let's have a look at this inquiry. And note
we need a
that
sheet.
The CEO of TikTok is vilified and barracked by this extraordinary senator. And think about how theatrical it is. And note how language that's literally redolent of McCarthy.
What the sheets?
Are you a member of the Communist Party? Are you a member of the Communist Party? How do I know Singapore is even a real place?
If he openly declares himself to be a communist, we take his word for it.
I think they then had a lawsuit and it was overturned. I can't remember.
No, it's the Biden administration that reversed those sanctions, just like, by the way, they reversed the terrorist designation on the Houthis in Yemen. How's that working out for them?
I think the man that sits behind Mr. Cotton is Tom Cotton's inner life. Like, that's actually what happens in Tom Cotton's mind. Just some sort of going,
just sort of staring. His expression doesn't change during this entire inquiry. He's either thought by it or understands it on a level so deep that it doesn't register.
But it was sanctioned as a Chinese communist military company.
He's got a bit of a nerve saying that because social media companies in the United States have explicit ties to both the military and have often engaged with deep state organizations like the CIA and FBI. We know that because of
They do have the best snacks. In fact, every time the wife goes to Cleveland, she comes back with a bunch of them.
Social media sites to sort of claim that there's a connection between the Chinese Communist Party and the Chinese military.
They got that Elvis juice too.
Company founded in China is actually superfluous. Of course there is. It's from China. It's very difficult to create a company in America that's both successful and doesn't have ties to the state. And what we're watching now is the dramatization of the government looking to get control over social media companies that become too big and powerful. Sometimes that might be beneficial to ordinary people. Sometimes that might be deleterious to ordinary people. What the government wants.
Hey, send me that link on Telegram. I can't pull up the chat for hours afterwards. I'd like to watch it. If it's because you're welcome. I can't replay that. I get copyrighted.
As you often say that you live in Singapore. Of what nation
She
are you a
sheets.
citizen?
Singapore. You keep saying Singapore. Now, why do you love it so much? Do you want to marry it?
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, sir.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
You can see that Xu Chu is considerably more intelligent than Mr. Kong. It's sort of talking to him how you might talk to somebody on the other side of a bus window bound for a lunatic asylum. Okay. If you truly believe that you're Napoleon, I'm sure you are.
Senator, I served my nation. No, I did not.
You have a Singaporean passport.
Yes, and I served my military for 2.5 years.
Yes, that's what we do in Singapore. I'm supposed to go to sleep in a Singaporean house at night, did you? Goddamn comment.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay, this isn't going how I planned it. Now, time to bring out the big guns.
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
That's a really weird thing to say, isn't it?
If a person supports organizations labeled communist by the Department of Justice, she may be.
Also, would the Chinese Communist Party even let you in if you were from Singapore? They'd probably be quite restrictive of that.
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
Do sometimes dress up like you all remember, like Justin Trudeau, how he stands free from another country sometimes, dressing himself up. You love communists, don't you?
Let me ask you some hopefully simple questions. You said earlier, in response to your question, that what happened at Tiananmen Square in June of 1989 was a massive protest. Do you think
Yeah, I might be able to get away with replaying it then. Yeah, send it to my Telegram. Please.
He seems to be trying to blame.
Pretty please.
Or Tiananmen Square when he said he's from Singapore. Probably when he was born when that happened. Okay,
Oh.
It's kind of weird.
He's working safe, got the fire extinguisher.
Innuendo. We all know that was a terrible massacre. I don't think
I've ever been to a fleet farm.
China, and in particular, I like their massacres. I'm not suggesting that don't surveil, don't spy, isn't a manipulative space. I'm sure it's all of those things. What I'm saying is this inquiry is not about that. It's certainly not about.
I've never been to a Buc-ee's either, though.
They still haven't done a proper inquiry into what the hell
But
went
buck
on.
fuckies.
Let's look into that. Let's look at children's.
Because them all the truckers go there.
Pharmaceutical measures that were taken in the last few years that may or may not be beneficial to children. If children's safety is the issue, don't just focus on an aspect of children's safety that can be utilised to advance a particular agenda. We can care about children's safety in all areas of life. That's why craft foods at McDonald's are in a hell of a lot of trouble. We're shutting that shit. They're not going to do that, are they? Why? It's profitable and it can't be utilised in order to.
We'll have
advance
Menards.
the surveillance agenda.
Yes, I think it's well documented. There was a massacre.
There was
Yeah.
Well, I prefer Lowe's anyway, but yeah. Lowe's gives veterans discounts, so.
Don't just say it was a massacre. Were you there that day? Were you even him?
Well, their tools are cheaper.
The other styles of Singapore is, what China is, what history is. It's so confused. Imagine it, the Portuguese out at the back. He's controlling it. I can't become a senator, not with this crazy face, but this pretty boy, you can do it, Tom.
In the Biden administration, the Chinese government is committing genocide against the Uyghur people.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, we've got a few of them around here, but they, you know, I swear, Menards, Home Depot, Lowe's, they're just different colors to me. I mean, they got cheap tools and expensive tools. They got All their wood costs about the same. I go to where it's the closest one, basically. The closest one to me is Lowe's, so plus they do the veterans discount there.
Before it froze to death, goddamn dinosaurs, they all dropped dead because of asteroid. I'm from Singapore, mate.
Senator, I've said this before. I think it's really important that anyone who cares about this topic or any topic,
they didn't cut it. I just used it.
Point there. Anyone who cares about these topics can freely express themselves on TikTok. Now, please take this to the heart of the matter.
They changed the ability to use it. They used to usually your spouse and everybody could use it for on your account, but the amount is the same. I just used it.
The Uyghurs, people aren't doing a great deal about it, are they? Let's face it. But what I believe want to control, I believe what this congressional or Senate inquiry is interested in establishing is the ability to censor information.
Oh, the news?
That can cause disobedience, uprising,
I watch the news, so.
Organisation, lack of trust in political institutions, lack of trust in the media, the breakdown of the pandemic narrative. This is what we're witnessing now, along with the ubiquitous now censorship laws that have been passed in Canada, UK, EU, US. People have realised, the powerful have realised, oh no, this online technology means that people can instantaneously communicate. News organisations.
That's weird. I just bought my oven on with it.
Communities can organise.
It was less than a year ago.
We have to shut that down.
My new oven.
Information's a thing, but what is actual, definite, real-time misinformation is Tom Cotton pretending to care about Uyghurs and Tiananmen Square.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Any of them care
it
about.
was. I mean, only a plan. I just bought an oven with one.
I've seen how the government in my country give money to organisations like Logically AI and a bunch of other organisations to censor stories. Well, let me tell you what the topics are: pandemic and big pharma. Moderna have been involved in that. War and the origins of the Ukraine-Russia conflict. True information gets censored around that. January 6th, an uprising and insurrection. Truckers movement. Oh, it's interesting. They're all counter-narratives where there's definitely been an attempt to control information and prevent true but unhelpful information getting out. And that's what this inquiry is about.
It's a very simple question that unites both parties in our country and governments around the world. Is the Chinese government committing genocide against the Uyghur people?
I may have a lot of beefs with Joe Biden and Donald Trump, but when the three of us get together and the subject of the Uyghur people comes up, as it inevitably does, because we all care so much about the Uyghur people. That's why you'll never find exploitative practices within companies like Apple or Facebook or Meta or any of those.
Looking at it right now, actually.
Or Halliburton or any of those guys, because if it could happen to a Uyghur, it could happen to any of us. Oh God, they're not all united. That's not what brings people together, like a can of Coca-Cola. Uyghurs, is it? You never hear Uyghurs talked about.
No, it's the spouses can still use it. Okay.
A Uyghur would legitimize censorship. Could we say anything? I don't know, Uyghurs. What are Uyghurs again? Oh, it's just Muslim people in China that have been put in concentration camps. Oh, how's that relevant to me? You could say you cared about them.
What does it apply to? Here we go.
I don't care about Uyghurs. He's going to regret pretending to care about them Uyghurs, because I think the Uyghurs actually have been employed almost at near slave labour levels to do work for Apple, and indeed Apple have enormous
major appliances. You're right.
And the American government have to have a good relationship with Apple. And when bloody the leader of China comes to America, Tim Cook, he's right in there from Apple. He's right over the meeting them. So if you actually care about Uyghurs, you're just being bothering this poor geezer from Singapore. They like recognize.
You're right. My bad. I must have got it right before they changed it.
Tom Cotton and all of this entire.
It still applies to the spouses too. Yeah.
Uyghurs, they've got a real direct route to the Chinese.
This is major appliances and even like wood and shit. God damn, that sucks. Fuck them then.
Finally, you're from China. I've told you Singapore. That's near enough. Do something about those goddamn Uyghurs. Before we're here to talk about TikTok censorship. I get to that when we finish talking about those Uyghurs.
Senator, anyone, including you can come into
Yes, sir.
TikTok,
Yes, sir.
talk
Yes,
about
sir.
this
I'm
topic.
asking you.
or
Yes,
any
sir.
topic.
You're right. I'm reading it.
Cosmopolitan, well-educated man.
Oh, it does? I didn't even know that about Home Depot. Do they have the ID me thing? Because that makes it so much easier.
Expressed many opinions on many topics. Is the Chinese government?
Yeah, this is lumber too. Lumber, bulk electrical wiring, anything that costs a lot, basically.
I'm not sure it's complicated. You put me in a corner. But actually, if you really care about the Uyghurs, do something about the Uyghurs with like the president of China and the president of Apple.
And I'm here to talk about what TikTok does.
Yes, sir. You're here.
Well, the non-store brand tools are the decent tools. Fucking Lowe's tools are garbage.
It's there, isn't it? It's like Tom Cotton has seen other inquiries. He's doing an impersonation of what he's seen at other inquiries. Significantly, the McCarthy trial, where Sammy tried, are you a member of the Communist Party? was one of the repeated refrains. And McCarthyism is something to be aware of, because McCarthyism was using the threat of communism to impose control over the entertainment industry, which I understand exists to this day, to generate fear so that people won't speak up and generate solidarity with one another, to look for ways to persecute and crush dissent, to generate control when there was a perceived external threat. The threat now is a domestic threat. We all know that. The threat now is you can't keep...
Well, does Craftsman still have its lifetime replacement on broken hand tools?
You can't do that anymore. People have the ability to get a different type of perspective on reality by using different news sources, aggregating them. We all live in a different world now, and that world is hard to control. And what's being created...
I'll have to check it out.
Let me ask you this. Joe Biden last year said that Xi Jinping was a dictator.
I've got a 0%, just about, it's like 0.5% credit at Lowe's, though. So I'd have to apply at Home Depot. Oh, you can check out Menards. Does Menards have a discount? Well, you guys probably wouldn't have checked if you don't have them around you. Actually, the closest is Menards to me.
It's the only fruit and vegetable product that literally promises better health. In your next checkup, your doctor will notice your improved health if you get an appointment, or you will get your money back. Do your vitamins or green drinks promise better health?
Grab some vape juice real quick.
Fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens was doctor selected by an actual doctor for a specific health benefit, not at random. Some support the heart, some support the lungs, some support the kidneys, others support metabolism.
Are you going, dude?
Look, if you resolve to get healthy, it all starts with Field of Greens. I've managed through my own techniques to get you 15% off your first order and free rush shipping. We're not going to muck about waiting for who fees to attack the ship. They're getting out stuff to you. Visit brickhouserussell.com and use the promo code BRAND. It's posted here. That's promo code BRAND, B-R-A-N-D, my name, at brickhouserussell.com. 2 S's, 2 L's. Let's get back into our content because this world needs us. It ain't going to save itself.
Senator, I'm not going to comment on any world leaders.
What?
Now, Mark Zuckerberg is a divisive figure in these spaces. In fact, he's a billionaire CEO of Meta, so we
never heard of them.
That he's affiliated will be with the state. Certainly, we know that he censored true information on behalf of the state during the pandemic.
Kind of establishment on that, asked for a bunch of things to be censored that in retrospect ended up being more debatable or true.
Indeed, Jimmy Dore tweeted on March 15, 2020, Mark Zuckerberg privately contacted Anthony Fauci saying, I also wanted to share a few ideas of ways we could help you get your message out. Zuckerberg then censored scientists, professors, doctors, nurses, and citizens in criticizing Fauci's recommendations regarding lockdown, school closures, and COVID mandates, and silenced all criticisms of experimental mRNA vaccines. Facebook classified mRNA vaccine injuries as malinformation, meaning information that is likely true but still should be censored to prevent doubts about the experimental RMNA vaccines. Numerous Facebook mRNA vaccine injury support groups with hundreds of thousands of members were banned. So, Facebook, when they were compliant with the government agenda, were favoured. Now, it seems the government have a slightly different agenda, plainly, to introduce more regulatory measures and to control Facebook nominally and explicitly in order to protect children. But pause for a moment. Do they really?
All right, give me a second. This guy's being an idiot. He still can't get straight in his parking spot.
Public and political and financial life where the care of your children.
Be right back. I'm gonna grab some juice.
Children's nutritional standards being taken care of. What about American infrastructure, healthcare, information? How are children generally being protected? Were there any medical measures in the last few years that potentially were not as beneficial as was claimed? Whether that's taking children out of school, making children wear masks, potentially recommending certain medications that might not have been beneficial for children. So, once again, let's have a look at how Mark Zuckerberg is handled in this Senate inquiry. And in particular, notice that what takes place is plainly a staged event. Their control of social media is about controlling your perception of reality, not protecting your children.
A stunning moment. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg faced a withering grilling over allegations his company is failing to protect children on social media.
There's families of victims here today.
Look at the politicians, again, this other one. Look at the style of it. Look at the tone of it. Imagine the sort of psychological and egoic state.
There's families of victims here today.
One consistent thing, and I'm beginning to think the mastermind, is that bald geezer, because he's there again. He's still not interested.
Have you apologized to the victims?
Would you like to do so now? Well, they're here. You're on national television. Would you like now to apologize to the victims who have been harmed by your product? Show them the pictures.
Zuckerberg stood and turned to address the hearing room filled with the families.
That is a sort of a prep moment. Let me reiterate once again that children's lives being negatively affected and ended as a result of information shared online. What I'm questioning is this inquiry really about protecting children, or is the protection of children merely a spearhead that will allow a lot of other regulations to be passed, a kind of Patriot Act, shall we call it, for online spaces that will lead to regulation, censorship and surveillance? Certainly we know that typically our governments have that appetite. Certainly governments have been doing that for years.
All right, that was easy.
Terrifying of independent media and independent political movements emerging out of it, and the opposition that's generated in these spaces. And what I query is the degree to which they care about child safety, which, like any parent, I believe should be paramount for all of us.
Many held signs with photos of loved ones who they say have suffered because of social media.
You loaded up yet, Midwest?
Mark Zuckerberg now, who's like a sort of obviously a billionaire and everything. He's just a nerdy guy. Clearly a person with some pretty strong ties to government when it's convenient. Certainly a person who, during the pandemic period, was willing to have a particular type of relation with the government. And I'm sure even that, I'd pray, was motivated by a desire to do good. I'm not going to assume that everybody's evil unless there's corroborating evidence. I think that's the important way to go. But what I'm saying is this situation where these poor, either grieving or hurt parents are holding up these pictures because they've been told to by someone, like, what we're going to do is going to have a moment where you hold up a picture in the press. Oh, this is it where we're going to do the photograph. It's a staged moment so that all of us start to
It's like someone scuffed the back of my car the other day too. I guarantee you I know where it happened.
But the genie's out of
This
the box.
fucking restaurant we just went to.
Hate speech laws in Ireland where they're not clear about what they mean by hate. Oh, just hate badness, stuff we don't like. Is that what you mean? The UK online safety bill, which was brought about at the time that I was being attacked, and we now know that various agencies were involved in that attack. Maybe there's about that elsewhere. You can have a look for yourself. So what you do know is you cannot trust the government. What you do know is that the government wants to control online spaces. And what you do know is if the government genuinely care about children, child safety and child health, there's a lot of ways they could do it with food, traffic safety, nutrition, poverty. There are so many ways to look at improving child safety. But this way of protecting child safety gives them more power. Isn't it curious? That's the one they've chosen to focus on.
Wow, that moment is something that I believe that we are going to be looking back on and talking about for quite some time.
And then using to legitimize draconian online censorship measures, which I suppose will be beneficial to the legacy media because our main competitor is independent media. In fact, any time that we get a chance to destroy an independent media figure, we should really get on board with that, whether it's Joe Rogan and the horse paste or any independent media figures with dissenting views. We should find, in fact, anything we can to destroy them because we're going to be annihilated otherwise. This is a convenient piece of legislation that allows the control of social media under that most laudable of reasons, the protection of children. Who among us doesn't want to protect children? Many of Epstein's clients, don't worry about that, forget that story, that's not convenient right now. So you just have to ask yourself, is this about protecting children, or is this about them being able to maintain control over a space that is volatile and doubtless has content in it that's harmful to all human beings? But they don't care about that, they care about control.
This is the one issue we are putting party aside and saying no.
No, Uyghurs.
Militia flag. Which one's the militia flag?
No, Uyghurs, that's important as well.
This will not happen to America's children.
Or Uyghurs.
Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri.
You're not calling the Gadsden flag a militia flag, are you?
Shouldn't you be held accountable personally?
I'm actually quite into this now.
You're a billionaire. So you set up a victims compensation fund with your money, the money you made on these families sitting behind you. Yes or no?
Interestingly, Michael Tracy tweeted this. Senators are going wild right now, screaming about how social media is anti-Semitic and pro-China and sharing all their latest theories about sex grooming techniques online, while Biden gets ready to commence a new strategic bombing campaign that they have not authorized. #priorities. Again, it's very difficult to take them seriously in all their valor and all their bombast when we know that wars are escalating across the planet that no one's voted for and we're expected to fund. And now for a statement that's irony.
Mr. Zuckerberg, you and the companies before us have blood on your hands.
Now, wash that blood off your hands.
Hey, Gregory, that's cool. When are you going to do that?
What do the Senate and senators and the entire political system care about?
Are you on somebody else's stream?
We'll go to war for them, incidentally, in Iran, or do they care about control over the public sphere and
Wow.
the information channels that exist between us right now?
I guess he's gonna let me go.
They get very, very deep about being able to control the space between this and your consciousness, and what you say and what I hear. They are terrified of this type of communication. They're terrified of communities that are starting to coalesce and become disobedient and disenchanted with the narrative. That's why they go for something emotional that goes past the rational mind and right into fear and terror. We've got to protect your children. There are a lot of things that we need to protect our children from, and I would include on that long list the government. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the chat. See you in a second. To be awakened and wonderful. The moment of our awakening. This is it. Can you feel it? We've got some fantastic comments to read you. Love in action. Mixed reality. Those are the words. Yeah, I see something poetic in the use of the phrase.
Oh, cool.
UFO Unlimited Hangout. Thanks for the mug.
That's good shit, Gregory.
Beautiful comments from you. As I always say to you, you awakened wonders in the locals chat.
Schedule that so we get some notifications, man. All right, guys. I'm gonna try and get online as soon as I can. All right. Love you guys. See you in a bit. Yeah, desktop still. 4 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. Peace, everybody. See you in a bit.
Doing the work of the establishment. Were Klaus Schwab to be able to glance